Hi guys. So I told Tom no. I said we're not going to buy Kenona, and I'm going to pay you $9.4 million and buy you out. And the interesting point about the compensation. So I should share something. Tom didn't really want to buy Kenona either, but in his private equity firm, he now had these other managing directors, and they wanted to buy Kenona. And they also wanted me to reduce my compensation because they had come in with this new rule that portfolio companies would have limits on CEO comp. They'd have limits on performance compensation as well. And I said, well, guys, that's great. If you own the majority, you don't own the majority of CGL. So I gave them the middle finger and told them I wasn't doing it because I said Tom and I had worked out a deal as to what my compensation was going to be. I owned 66% of the business. They owned 24%. We got the Bank of Montreal to give us the $9.4 million that we needed. And then I also had the guy who owned the building hanging around, right? If you remember, he still owned a piece of the business. So I bought him out too. So what I did was I ended up owning about 85% of the business. My team owned the balance. Now, one of the shareholders who's in the story, they talk about this Keith Wetlaufer guy. He was a shareholder. He refused to sell his shares when Kensington decided to be bought out. He thought it was the stupidest thing that Kensington could possibly do, right? So he actually stayed in. And Tom felt I had treated him so fairly, he actually wrote a personal check and stayed in the business. And what was quite funny was we would have to do our board. He insisted, though, we do board meetings going forward at his offices, and he would leave the boardroom door open. And the two managing directors who were fighting me on my compensation sat outside. That's where their office was. Their desks were actually. And he would say, "Sorry, Mike, how much money did you make? We sold this business for what?" They did buy Kenona, and Kenona was owned by 3 shareholders. They bought 75%, management kept 25%. Management drove it off the cliff. So here you have this business that they buy at the peak of the market, they've driven it off the cliff, and CGL, we just keep